What's going on? It's your boy CJ, CEO, CJ Goodfellow, CJ Sports Corner Entertainment. Um, we talking about Michael Vick today, um, the most overrated quarterback ever. A lot of people just be like, nah, 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 but don't listen to the facts. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, Michael Vick is probably the most overrated factual sports hero in the black urban community. I mean, absolutely, he had his moments at time, but as a definition as a quarterback, he lacked. And I see people consistently putting, I know people of young age, let me say that, and some of these other dumb casual fans consistently put him above guys like Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, and other black quarterbacks, Steve McNair, and he only had one real good year as a quarterback, and I'll get into that later. But when he was in Atlanta, he was electric. He was just a running back trying to play quarterback, trying to be a poser as a quarterback. That's all it was. He never was a quarterback. He had a good arm. He had a rocket for an arm, but when it came to X's and O's, he sorely lacked. He couldn't read the playbook. You know what I mean? Everything he got usually was on him improvising. Him rolling out, buying time, receivers breaking off routes and coming to catch the ball. He never made any receivers better. Matter of fact, when he left, Roddy White started to bloom when Matt Ryan got there. He never made anybody better. You know what I mean? He made running backs better. That's about it. When you talking about receivers, he never, in my opinion, I think receivers hated playing with him. He's a guy who didn't know how to anticipate windows, throwing through windows. He didn't know how to anticipate passes. He never was good at timing routes in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, when you're a quarterback, if you cannot play or pass from the pocket, you cannot win a championship. You cannot be consistently effective in this league. And that's what people don't understand. If you can't play from the pocket, there's no reason you should be a quarterback. If you can never develop in the pocket, that's where you become a quarterback. Not rolling out, not playing on the edges, not rushing for 100 yards and only throwing for 100 yards. You have to consistently make throws from the pocket. Because when you go up against those upper echelon teams and you can't make those throws from the pocket, it's going to expose you. They're not going to let you break the pocket and run all the way around. They're going to contain you in the pocket. You're going to have to make plays from the pocket. And Vic was never able to do that, only but 1 year in his career. He was never consistent. You look at other quarterbacks like Cam Newton, who 2 years ago, who was consistent play from the pocket. He was able to make throws with mediocre receivers, for the most part, and make throws. And he made receivers better. Russell Wilson, I know a lot of people give him flack. Talking about he breaks the pocket. All he can do is run around. Absolutely not. You look at some of the biggest throws he made in that NFC Championship game versus San Francisco, or just in general in that whole playoff run. He made a lot of plays from the pocket, a lot of passes from the pocket. You don't have to be 20 for 20 from the pocket, but it's going to be a handful of. It's going to be about 10 plays from the pocket that you got to make in a game if you want to be successful and be a championship contender. And Michael Vick never accumulated to that. He never was consistent with his pocket play. People get polarized by him because he was the greatest athlete to ever play the position. Even when you put Randall Cunningham in there, he was more electric, faster than Randall Cunningham. He had the speed and the agility of a corner, of an elite corner. And that's what people got caught up with, the long runs and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, you don't last as a quarterback doing that. Randall Cunningham found that out. Cam Newton is finding that out now. Even the guy who people don't consider as a runner, Andrew Luck, is finding that out. And RG3 found that out. You can't take that beat. No matter how big and strong you are, you can't take that beat, and you have to make throws from the pocket. And that's why Vic pretty much broke down in the end of his career, all those hits and accumulations that he took. He was a great athlete, but as a quarterback, he was overrated. As an athlete, he wasn't overrated, but as a quarterback, he was very overrated. He never won shit in Atlanta. He had one good win at Lambeau in Atlanta, and somebody else stumped him out the very next game. I believe it was. You know, they wasn't gonna win unless he developed into a quarterback. He'd had to have a developmental stage that Randall Cunningham had. Every year, Randall Cunningham would run around and get injured until he got to a point where he had to sit down and be able to be a quarterback. It was late, but it was better than never. You know, when he got with Minnesota, he was a pocket quarterback. He looked like your standardized quarterback. A lot of people say, you know, in the NBA, this is a point guard position. It ain't like it used to be. But that's the most effective way to play the position, just like the quarterback. That will never age. Just similar as a prototype quarterback. Those things will never age. You have to make throws from the pocket. And 1 year in Philly, he did. He looked very good in Philly. And if he could have put that work ethic early in his career, and all the studying and all the time he did when he got out of jail and put that effort into his career to learn X's and O's and learn how to read playbooks and learn how to carry yourself and handle himself as a true prototype quarterback and mix that in with his athletic ability, he arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But he never sat there and wanted to learn the position. It was all about being a star off the field. And he thought he was bigger. He thought he was bigger than the sport, but he never was. You know, he never was going to be in that caliber as a John Elway, a guy who was a mobile quarterback who was good from the pocket. You know, he was never going to be in that caliber as a Warren Moon. You know, even as a Steve McNair, he wasn't going to be in there. Eric McNair was a good athlete, but Eric McNair can throw the ball accurately. Downfield, middle, he understood the playing the position. And Michael Vick, Vince Young, quarterbacks that spark out, they just never commit to being the X's and O's and learning how to play the position. If you don't commit to learning how to play the position, no matter how much talent you got, you're not going to be good. We gone.